You're rooting for him the whole time. Is he going to do it? Is he going to get to the final boss, the end? It's like a game.
You remind me of like Mario's like Nintendo 64. Is he going to make it to Bowser?
How does that have a billion views?
It would be pretty nefarious if another country was sort of manipulating the younger generation.
Welcome back to another episode, guys. Here we are. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning out here in California. We're both in California here. It's been a good day. Finally, good weather. Spirits are up. You know, when it's rainy, spirits are down. But you know, when it's there's not a cloud in the sky, the sun is shining, the weather is great, like it is all the time here in California. You know, we're feeling good. How are we feeling today, Tom?
Man, I'm feeling great. You reminded me of like I felt like it was like I was in a little fairy tale, like a Disney intro or something. You know what I mean? Like I was waiting to hear like the birds singing and stuff, and Snow White to come down the stairs. Maybe because I went to Disneyland like a week ago with the kids. Maybe that's why. You know. So who knows?
How was that? I never talked to you about that because I always say Disney is better as an adult.
You know what? You nailed it on the head, man. It honestly, I was surprised. Like, one, I appreciated it so much more because the kids and seeing how they were excited to just stand in line for 30 minutes to meet like Pluto and Goofy. And I was like, I'm so game for this. Like, we're spending all this money to like meet a character, not even ride a ride. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
So, that was sick.
Crazy.
And then, so it was good. It was so much better. I just can't get over the fact Darren and I have known each other for over 3 years, guys, maybe 3.5. We talk for hours every week, like the conversations you hear here on the pod, okay? We've been doing this for years about content creation. We finally met each other a few days ago in person, in real life.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. We had a mutual friend that Tommy was having lunch with, so had to join. And yeah, it's interesting. It's like meeting a celebrity, even though like I've known Tommy for years, which is funny. But yeah, so honestly, I mean that was good.
Yeah, it was so weird. We were just like we couldn't stop, and Pierce like, sorry, I called you out, Pierce. Love you. You better be listening, Pierce. And if you're listening, drop a comment below. Like he's just like looking at us, and we're just like we look over each other, and we just can't stop like smiling and laughing because like. It's like seeing a celebrity. Like you watch someone all the time on screen, and then once you see them in person, you're like, oh, they're like real.
Yeah, especially having a podcast with someone and then meeting them in person is pretty hilarious. But yeah, Tommy's all the way out in Palm Springs. Got a couple kids and a family. I'm down here in LA, so it's a little bit different. So that's why we don't do this in person. So.
That's right. But yeah, I mean, you got a lot of exciting stuff in the hopper, right? You've been just grinding, making content. Darren has some, I'm not going to reveal anything, but Darren's got an exciting video planned on his main channel. Make sure, by the way, go to Darren Kriz in YouTube search bar and make sure that you're even subscribed to the main channel. Most likely you are, but to see all that he's doing, content creating.
And I appreciate that shout out, man. Also go to Gospel with Tommy to watch his shorts because he is taking them to the moon, and he's going to pass me in subscribers in the next couple months, honestly.
I don't know.
We'll see. Shorts are everything, and when you're popping off on there, you can grow exponentially. So it's cool. It's cool to see all the platforms doing well. In January is always like a pretty good month for monetization, for views in general. I feel like the last 3 years, January has always been one of my higher months, and it always makes you feel really good going into the new year, having all these big goals. The key is to just make sure you keep compounding on the consistency too, and don't make January your biggest month, because then you look back from the end of the year to the beginning and think, well, I was just on a downhill trend the whole time. But that's why it's, our spirits are up, but you can't let that slow you down.
1,000%. I mean, something exciting. So I recently got into that Instagram Reels kind of bonus club where now I'm monetized for my Reels. Darren recently got into Facebook Reels. He hit 1,000 followers on Facebook. So that's cool. I'm excited to see.
I think it's 100,000 views is what you need on Facebook to get into that program. So Yeah, I mean, you never know. You get lucky, you get one video that pops off, and then boom, now you have another monetization platform. And some people are doing insane money on Facebook. So we'll see how that goes on there. It's all experimenting.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The stuff we're telling you guys, we're learning, we're experimenting as well. So we're constantly seeing like what other apps we could be posting on and see like, you know, it's very, if you're not posting on multiple apps like whatever, Twitter, Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Snap, you know, you're doing yourself a disservice because you might have some content on your camera roll that honestly, if you put it on another platform, it would be viral. And you could gain thousands, 10,000s, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And it's a really uplifting thing every week because then one piece of content has like 5 different chances to hit. And it's like very motivating because if you're just on one platform, right? And it would be like such a bummer. And one platform's just doing okay and you're not experimenting with any of the others. Honestly, what keeps me going is just seeing growth on multiple ones and it sort of ebbs and flows. And it's just really nice. You're always like progressing, you know, on just different platforms.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be cool when someone will recognize you in person from Facebook and they don't even know that you have a YouTube. You know, that's when you know that you're doing something right on every platform, which is what I hear from, you know, big people that they'll say, oh, I saw you're that guy from TikTok. But it's like, okay, I just started making TikToks, but I've made YouTube videos for 5 years. You know, there's a lot of YouTubers and influencers in the space that talk about that.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing. We actually have some really good stuff for you guys today. A few different things we're going to be talking about in the content creating space. One of them, inside scoop out of TikTok, this just happened where some of the employees sort of, you know, spilt the tea, as the kids would say these days, as you might say, listening, you know, if you're young, a teeny bopper, I like to call them. My wife's like, you're so old. But basically, Darren, do you want to take it away? Do you want me to pull up the article and show?
You can talk about it. You have the article.
So, and by the way, like, as you probably know by now, you could listen to us on any major, you know, streaming platform for podcast. Don't forget to leave a comment. It helps a lot, and give a review. And also you could check us out on YouTube. But if you're listening, you're in the shower, you're on the toilet, I got you. So this is on Forbes, right? This literally just hit. So by listening to this podcast, you are up to date with the latest news. TikTok and ByteDance employees regularly engage in heating, quote unquote, heating. Basically, this is what heating means, okay? It sounds like a dog in heat or something. It's not that. Heating is a manual push that ensures specific videos achieve a certain number of views. So basically, TikTok, as you probably know, has the For You page, right? So it's a personalized feed, and it's ranked by the algorithm that predicts your interests based on your behavior in the app. I took that from this article. I'm not that smart, okay? So what came out was 6 current and 4 former employees of TikTok and its parent company basically revealed that in addition to letting the algorithm decide what goes viral, staff at TikTok and ByteDance also secretly handpick specific videos and supercharge their distribution. And obviously they're doing it a lot because they actually like have a name for this practice called heating. So furthermore, okay, the total video views of heated videos account for a large portion of the daily total video views, around 1% to 2%. So what they're doing, they're saying it's having a significant impact on overall core metrics, but obviously on a big impact as us as users. So last thing I'll say with this article, and then Darren, I want to hear your thoughts. Sources also told Forbes that TikTok has often used heating to court influencers and brands, enticing them into partnerships by inflating their videos' view count. So this is crazy. So some scandalous stuff going on.
Yeah.
Darren,
so,
what are your thoughts?
A couple thoughts on this. First thought is, if we had a friend who was working for TikTok, you know, maybe we can nudge them a little bit and say, hey, man, I'm trying to get some views here. Can you help push me out a little bit? Give me like a quick 2 million views on my video I'm gonna post today. So that's one thing that if they have close friends, I'm sure it's like having a friend that won the lottery. They're gonna be getting bombarded by people just wanting their videos pushed out. Another thing is like now it kind of makes sense if they've been doing this for a while. There are some videos that you look at and you'd think, how does that have any views? Such as, I don't know why this comes to mind, but one of the most viewed TikTok videos of all time is the one where Bella Porch is literally just looking at the camera, making like weird faces. You remember that?
Yes.
And everyone's like, how does that have like 1 billion views?
1,000%.
Maybe that like a video such as like that or another similar type of video was just pushed out by someone random, and they were just like, all right, let's push this video out and just see what happens. Maybe we can make this girl famous, out of nowhere. So
yeah. No, I think it's interesting because China, right? China's communist country, and any company that's operating in China has like oversight with, they're on top of everything, right? It's not like a democracy. What China says goes. And we've already spoken to, and this isn't even conspiracy theory or anything. We've already spoken about China. They show their kids specific things like math wizards and life skills. And then the American app is like twerking and just like maybe silly viral videos and that kind of thing, right? So I think it's really interesting that, how deep does this go where they're manipulating things for the general American public to see, and we love obviously social media, and you do too. That's why you're listening, but we can't, not, I guess, say the impact or give account to the impact that social media has on the youth. Especially, people, their neocortex or whatever, their brain's not fully developed yet. You can't even rent a car till you're like 22, 25. So youth are very impressionable of what they're seeing online. And, when you have almost every youth of today is on TikTok in America, it would be pretty nefarious if another country was sort of manipulating the younger generation. I mean, I don't know. That just went down a dark rabbit hole, but we could you don't even have to take it there. We could even talk about how scandalous is it, like say YouTube Shorts is they're introducing things to entice creators to come over by fair play, by increasing monetization and stuff in February. But then TikTok's like, well, hey, Mr. Beast, hey, blah, blah, blah. You come over here, we'll inflate your views. You'll get more brand deals. I don't know. We could go that ankle too. Right. So there's just so many things.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, first off, with the manipulating the future generations, that's extremely important because, I mean, I don't know what percentage of people these days, like in elementary school or middle school, have phones now or are on their phones. And obviously you think about this heavily because you have 2 young kids, and once they get phones and are looking at random apps, they're going to be like, they might be manipulated by these random CEOs in China that are just trying to, send our generation in this country a different direction than theirs are. We've always heard that TikTok in China is much different than it is out here. When you're looking at the apps in China, it's all about education, whereas out here it's all about dumb, funny videos and random, like 3-second quick clip funny videos, So it's definitely interesting to see. And I mean, that's why they're also talking about banning it out here, because especially if it can be manipulated by someone that's not even in our country, like specific people, who knows how corrupt the app could end up becoming. And so that is something that you just got to be aware of, and try to just, obviously the average person isn't going to be scrolling actively and like really be conscious of, okay, maybe I shouldn't watch that video because obviously not as like, especially if you're a teenage kid, you're not going to be scrolling the app and being like, okay, I got to make sure I don't watch these quick hitting dopamine videos because that's going to be bad for my future mental health. Nobody's thinking like that if you're a young kid in high school or even if you're in your 50s, like not too many people, the average person isn't going to think that actively when they're scrolling on an app. But if we just try to only manipulate our own algorithms into sending ourselves things that could benefit us, because like if you're scrolling, because sometimes my app is great where I'm scrolling and I just see entrepreneurial things. I see just things about money, finance, real estate, education, motivation. Like that's a fine algorithm, that'll actually help you in your life thrive. But if you are just only scrolling and it looks like how Vine used to look, where it's all 5-second videos of you, of just like people falling down stairs, of like satisfying videos of things that are just not doing well for your brain, then I mean, it's just tough to think in an active. Then that's just with being present in every moment as well, being aware of what you're actually doing with your time, which is something that people just need to get into their bodies a bit and like know that they are a person. It's hard to really express what I'm thinking, but like, kind of going down a little rant here, but it's,
I like what you're saying. I love the rants. I love the just creative juices. You're publicly brainstorming,
for sure. Yeah.
And people are going to pick up on all kinds of stuff you're saying. But what you have me sort of thinking about is, so, okay, we're just on this app, we're scrolling away, at you listening at home, and for us too, we have to remember, like, we're content creators. We're using this to build our brand, to build our business. So when you're scrolling, when you're consuming, and that's honestly the best thing about being a content creator, Darren, I'm sure you know this, when we're on these apps, we're seeing, how long was that video? How was that hook?
Yeah.
What kind of music did they use?
Yeah, we're actually studying these videos. Like when we watch YouTube long form videos too, like we're studying pretty much like at this point subconsciously. We're looking at the videos and studying it and then being like, oh shoot, that intro was amazing. I got to go back and rewind so I can rewatch exactly what they did, what sound effects they use, what text they use. That's how we're thinking because we're actually in the space and we're not strictly consumers.
Yeah, exactly. I can't believe I'm going to do this, but it's a perfect example.
What?
Oh, Darren, I have to say his name again.
The GOAT.
Oh, Mr. Beast. But listen, don't roll your eyes at home listening to this.
If you guys have listened to every episode, try to see if we've said his name every episode. I think we have. So, we're on the right track.
This is just a nugget and it shows you how profound things get when you're creating content. Mr. Beast was on a podcast with this great podcast that Darren sent me by this name named Lex.
Yeah, Lex Friedman.
Lex Friedman, okay? Yeah. And literally, Lex is on some rabbit hole about a certain thing, and then Mr. Beast pauses him. Okay, listen to this, okay? This is really important for what Darren's saying. Pauses him and says, does your audience really care about this? He's like, I'm sorry, but I just subconsciously think about like audience retention and engagement and like, is your audience going to actually be into this and stuff? And it was just hilarious to see how he said from 10 years of making content, studying, analyzing, he says he's taken people, no subscribers, no views. They put out a video, gets 5,000 views, and literally he tells them what to do, not even by using money or anything. And the next video gets 1 million views. So we need to get to that level, Darren, where
he knows he's on camera and that's how his brain works, to where they're recording a podcast and he knows you're on camera when you're filming a podcast, when he's speaking. And so Lex is just bombarding him with questions about analytics and stuff, and then Mr. Beast is like, your audience doesn't care about YouTube analytics. Like, I was very personally was interested in it because this is what we do.
Yeah,
but the average viewer that watches Lex Friedman's podcast episodes, his interviews, care about analytics? Maybe not, and that's what Mr. Beast was thinking. But Lex was like, I don't care if they care. I care. These are the questions that I want to know from you, and I'm sure if I care, then other people will care about our conversation we're having, because this is a real conversation between two guys that are super successful in the industry. So
I would say your goal, our goal, when we're on these apps and we're consuming content, whether it might be dumb or not, always try to be consciously, and then eventually it'll turn into subconscious thing, learning what other people are doing. Because I think that's how I've been able to grow, is just always experimenting with seeing what other people are doing and what's working and what's not, because it's all about the end user. And that's how I think your message could be really profound. And you think, oh, maybe it won't resonate with like the general population today. But honestly, find out even the stupidest video that's going viral. You could incorporate your message into something like that, or use their same tactics, and you could get whatever you want out into the world, and it will do well.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I completely agree. It's crazy. But
so that was interesting. And then the next fascinating thing that Darren actually told me about, and I saw this on TikTok, okay? This guy named Phidias. And Darren,
so there's
tell us about this.
So, I mean, we're just looking at the trending page on YouTube, always trying to figure out what's going viral and stuff to see where the algorithms are at, what kind of videos people are making. And there's this guy on YouTube who made this video titled, so his name is Phidias, and the title of the video is, I Hugged the World's Top 100 Celebrities. Okay, so first of all, it's pretty interesting, very unique title. And his thumbnail is him with Elon Musk, hugging Elon Musk. And I saw this video yesterday, and it had 1.1 million views in 10 hours. And, you got to click on that when it's something that, the title's like that and it has that many views, it's got to be something interesting. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because if you watch the video, he talks about how this video took him 18 months to complete. And his end goal was to have Elon Musk be the final celebrity that he gave a hug to. And, I mean, 18 months to finish one 19-minute long YouTube video, like, that is determination, perseverance. That's inspiring, too. It's super emotive, like, inspiring for anyone watching to think, like, I mean, this guy had this goal in mind, and to think every day that this is where he had to get to with this video, no matter how long it took him. If it took him 5 years, I'm sure he would have still tried to make it happen, But I mean, like, good for him. And he's a guy where sometimes it's hard to understand him because he has a thick accent. English isn't his first language. So, and for him to, like, just make his dreams come true and really go all in, like, that is going all in on a concept, on an idea, and doing whatever it takes. Like, hugging 100 celebrities, like, it's hard to even get into one person's space, like, meet one celebrity, and he's going up to this many people with the top guy in mind. I was gonna say top G, but that's not the he wasn't in there. But with Elon being the 100th guy, I mean, that's, like, doesn't get much more celebrity than Elon. So yeah, wild video, next
level. And that's why, especially with, like, long form videos, and it depends, like, what kind of niche you're in, because there's different, like, kinds of styles of making content on YouTube. But, like, just trying to hit the mass audience of today, it's really all about thumbnail, but also just the idea of the video.
Yeah.
Because he thought this was such a good idea that he was willing to risk it for the biscuit and do this for, like, 18 months, hoping it would work. Just believing in that idea.
Insane. Yeah.
I loved how short the title is. I Hugged the World's Top 100 Celebrities. To the point, just like, boom.
Yeah, and I mean, all the people that talk about content in YouTube say that, the shorter the title is, where it doesn't get cut off when you're looking on mobile, that will help the video out tremendously. So Tommy brought a clip on screen up here. If you guys are watching the YouTube version, if you're not, go to YouTube real quick and watch this version. There's Phidias giving a hug to Elon, number one. It wraps out, full circle the whole video from the start. And there it is. I mean, that's pretty incredible. And if you look at the first clip of the video too, it's pretty cool because he starts with Mr. Beast, and this was 18 months prior to the Elon one. And he asks Mr. Beast if he thinks that he'll get to Elon in the end. And Mr. Beast says, no, because, like, Mr. Beast hasn't even met Elon, I don't think. And so that's pretty cool, where he starts with that, and he tells a great story. It's all about storytelling too, and when you're making long form videos. And And when he starts with that, you're rooting for him the whole time. Just like, is he going to do it? Is he going to get to the final boss, at the end? It's like a game. And then he finally gets there. It's incredible to see how happy that guy is. That guy is a super energetic, excited person. It's pretty cool.
I love it. You remind me of like Mario's like Nintendo 64. Is he gonna make it to Bowser? Like
that's what it is. It's a game.
Is he getting? Yeah, and that's fun. That's very like big thing with content, right? It's as soon as someone clicks your video, that like what's the payoff for them to sit there and watch?
Yeah.
Like every piece of content we make, we have to think about the end user, the end audience, and like what are they getting out of watching this video? And that was really genius because he's there with Mr. Beast, and there's literally a picture behind Mr. Beast of Elon, and he asked him about what like planning. That's such great.
If he doesn't get to Elon at the end, he has to scrap this whole video basically because it wouldn't be like, what is he going to say at the end? Oh, I didn't end up hugging Elon. That's why he had to wait so long to get to the right time. It's pretty wild. And
insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what we've been saying about content. People really love right now creators who are doing very like real things, out asking strangers questions, like just very raw, natural, like not amazing. And I'm not that his editing isn't amazing, but it's all about amazing storytelling.
It's so raw. Yeah, it's all about the storytelling because I think he recorded the whole video on his iPhone too.
Oh,
if you watch the whole video, it's just like him, because how are you going to bring your camera everywhere when over 18 months filming a selfie of him hugging a random celebrity? He sees a celebrity, he's like, hey, can I hug you? He films it, so it's all on his iPhone. And, one thing about having great concept for videos, like what Mr. Beast says on all these podcasts, are that it's like the most important thing is coming up with the idea, and it's easier actually to come up with a 1 million view video than like 100,000 view video, because come up with one idea. And I hear Think Media always says, they say like write down 100 ideas or titles for videos and then cut it down into 10 and then cut it down into 3, and then you'll really come up with like strong concepts for videos, so like, so coming up with just like a massive viral video is something that anyone can do with a good idea. So I mean, that's what I'm gonna be trying to do this year in some of my videos in my niche too. So we'll see if I can get anything to pop. It's all about the film and editing too. So
you're gonna be there, man.
We'll see.
That's the thing. It's not easy for someone like Darren to have basically 100,000 of subscribers and to take risk, right, Darren? Wouldn't you say the bigger you start becoming, the harder it is to take those risks, to innovate, to hit that next level?
100%. That's why, like on my second channel, I feel like I can do anything really, and it doesn't really matter. But it's just the fact that I have for 3 years, I've done the same exact thing on my channel, and so it's hard to just pivot and innovate in a different direction. That's why you kind of have to do it slowly. But I know there's a lot of people that have done it super successfully. Like, for example, we talk about like a Jordan Welsh who was only doing drop shipping videos, and then he started branching out into like more finance stuff, more just like media, like millionaire type videos, just different videos that can go viral other than drop shipping. It's such a small niche. And like Mr. Beast, he was saying he did like 5 videos in a row of like giving money to people on Twitch. They're all popping, but he can't do 50 videos in a row like that, or else he'll box himself into this small niche. You got guys like the guy who does the gold digger prank part 50. Now he's only the guy that does the gold digger prank. He doesn't have anything else going for him, where he actually quit YouTube. He stopped like 2 years ago. So, it's hard you got to always just come up with new concepts and ideas, or go bigger and bigger always, or else you're going to be boxed into a small section of people. And YouTube's never going to keep recommending you if you're just doing the same thing over and over again.
Totally. And on this topic of just growing on YouTube and stuff, I'm sure Darren and I are always sort of like looking at different channels on YouTube, because you'll find out there a lot of guys that are like teaching people how to grow on YouTube, but they like don't really have a clue, or they're just regurgitating what everyone else is talking about, how to grow. So this is just off the cusp, but I just wanted to show people this, Darren. Some good channels for you to check out. The first one, just a few channels. The first one, Colin and Samir, hands down. Once you say, Darren, if people want to learn about content creation and just how to grow channels, listen to stories by creators.
Of course, yeah. I mean, they're a big inspiration for us as well in what we're doing. And I've been watching them since they had like under 100,000 subs, because they're making incredible videos probably for almost 8 to 10 years. And now they blew up, honestly, with shorts, but then they kept their long form going and going very well. So, and they're very informative. You can learn a lot from them.
Yeah, huge. Think Media with Sean Cannell. Definitely.
They've been around forever. I think they post every day too. They have a huge team, huge studio, and they have multiple channels. That's a big company now, and it all started with Sean Cannell.
Yeah, so that's a big one, and that's nice because they'll teach you like advanced stuff, but also more basic stuff on like what kind of camera should you use, how should you edit, those kind of things. Probably the last one I want to show you, Darren. Have you ever checked out Film Booth?
I think I've seen a few of them. I don't watch them religiously, but yeah, those thumbnails look familiar.
Dude, you gotta check out Film Booth. This guy's incredible filmmaker. He'll basically start a video, and the way he starts a video is by just telling a story to get his point across. So the entire video is like a story, but it's teaching people sometimes basic stuff about YouTube, but he'll do it in a story. So if you need some new people to check out to help you grow, definitely check those people out. Those are going to be good to get you help you just make better content.
Yeah, no, I did watch a Film Booth video. He was talking about editing actually a month ago, it looks like.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot to learn from all of these guys online.
Yeah, and one of the next things we're going to talk about is an article came out, okay? Tube Filter, which is great, TubeBuddy, the app or the software that helps you look at your views. So it's similar to vidIQ on YouTube to check out your analytics, but more in depth than what YouTube Studio offers. In 2022, 65% of all internet traffic came from where? Came from video sites. And data usage from video sites has been increasing 24% year over year.
Wow.
And that's why, guys, this is what it's all about right now. No matter if you're self-employed or you have an employer or whatever you want to do, making video this year could literally change your life. And that's where it's sort of wild to think the internet's going in this direction of like to obtain information instead of reading a blog article. Yeah. People are just going to watch a YouTube video.
Yeah. And I mean, how good is that for the future of our society, for people only watching videos? Are less people reading, and is that good for people to not read as much as they used to? I mean, if you think about it from that perspective.
Yeah. No, I would definitely say that's one thing I'm like trying to remember to do is like, I mean, I read my Bible like every day in the morning, but also it's funny, I find myself listening to my Bible more on the audio version than even reading it, which is sort of like hilarious. But one thing I'm trying to remember is just to like keep reading, because what I've known from like studying famous, especially like these old theologians, right? Like people who tell people about God and stuff, like some of the real like Charles Spurgeon, Jonathan Edwards, like these people who are like scholars, they know Latin, Greek, Hebrew, Aramaic, like multiple languages. And they studied like Socrates, they studied, Ernest Hemingway or whatever, like, they were really well read, and usually when people are really well read, just with just books of all kinds, right?
Yeah,
they tend to be really well spoken, like very well spoken.
Definitely. And I think everyone's just getting their words these days from subtitles and captions, and that's why we're seeing that on every video now, where you're reading. You have to, our brains are just need that stimulation all the time. You can't even watch a video anymore without having the words on the screen as well to read. It's just like it is interesting how our brains are just getting like that pop, pop, pops, like quick stimulation. I just saw the funniest reel that I've ever seen the other day, where this guy, oh man, it was like this guy was watching a movie, right, on his TV. Like someone was watching a movie with him. And then he was like, hold on, give me 1 sec. And he had like Subway Surfer, the game, being played half on the lower half of the screen because he needed like another thing going on the bottom of the movie to get how you've seen those videos where there's like a game being played under the video.
Yes, I've done that.
Yeah. So he needed that other video being played above the screen. And then he was like, hold on 1 sec. And he kept like putting a different thing underneath, like changing. He's like, wait, I need that second stimulation here. Give me a sec. And that was hilarious. I wish I could remember that and bring that up right now. But
dude,
that was like
so funny.
It was a funny video.
The first time
people can't even watch long form movies anymore. You need like something else to go under.
No, you're so right. The first time I came over to my like wife's house or whatever, like when we were dating and stuff, and she was in college, and I went over to her house, and her brother was literally sitting there, okay, and he was playing like not League of Legends, but one of the other games, right? And then at the same time, he had Netflix on an iPad, watching it while he was playing. And I was like, what? I never seen anyone do that before. I'm like, oh my God, that is insane. So I think like if you want an edge in content creation, make sure you're reading books still, because it's just going to make you smarter and you're going to make better content, hands down.
Yeah, books. I have a library in my room, and I've always been big on physical books. I actually just ordered 3 books yesterday. A couple of classics that I think everyone should read, just for just life in general. You've heard of David Goggins, I'm sure.
Oh,
right?
Of course, dude.
So I've listened to the audiobook, but I've never actually read Can't Hurt Me. So I got the physical copy just to have. Yeah. And then he just came out with a new book that's pretty high up on, I think it's number 1 on Amazon right now. He just came out with this book, Never Finished. And like, I can't believe how many copies he sold, millions on millions of those copies of his books. I mean, and it's all about just determination, motivation. You'll hear some of his stories about like his personal life, how pretty much almost nobody has the willpower of this guy to push through physical pain when he runs these marathons and stuff. And just his voice, I'm sure people have heard him, but so that's cool. And then, so I mean, always just be reading, looking at these, like, I don't know, it's just something about reading books. And then you'll hear from everyone, Patrick Bet-David, who read like 2,000 business books. It helps. Like, so even though there's all these videos out there, we always talk about content creation, you still should every now and then just get a physical book or an audio book, learn something new, and just read some words on the screen. That's not subtitles from a video popping up on you.
Totally. Yeah, a book that I would recommend, especially for content creators, it's a book called The Hero's Journey. And I first found out about this from the ClickFunnels community, Russell Brunson. And basically, I think The Hero's Journey, even George Lucas read it to help him like create Star Wars. And it's this structure. It's like 12 stages of a hero's journey. The hero's in an ordinary world. He has a call to adventure. He refuses the call. He meets a mentor. The whole thing, right? So I think honestly, reading books like that about storytelling or just reading really great like nonfiction books is going to just increase your storytelling skills. And, going forward, the great creators are going to be the ones who tell really good stories.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, storytelling in any kind of video, I think, is the main reason people stay from beginning to end. We talked about Phidias's style video, even like if you talk about a video that I make, people like a house tour, they want to see the master bedroom. They're watching it to get the story of you walking through a house. You know, anyone that you see is telling a specific story and referring to it throughout the whole video to make you wait till the end, and that helps with just the retention of the entire video overall.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why you'll see on like some videos like wait till the end. Like,
yeah, and now people have to put that in TikToks and start that in the beginning, you know, because people can't get through a 15-second video. You start the video, the intro says wait till the end, you know, so it's crazy.
It's so crazy where things are going, you know. And we were talking about, like, because we've been just checking out different platforms and just looking at Snapchat and how quick those videos are in the whole spotlight, and just how, I don't want to say how dumb a lot of it is, but Darren, it's literally like someone like will brush their teeth with like rainbow colored stuff, and then it goes to the next clip. Like, Snapchat's on a whole nother level with just content.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't discover all this Snapchat content till a few weeks ago, because it's just, I don't know enough about Snapchat to just bash on it too much, but now we're using it because it's another form of getting our content out there organically. But from what I see on there, it's just all pretty dumb, not dumb, but like pretty,
but a lot of
mind-numbing reaction videos just to get the dopamine hits, the quick stimulation in the brain, where it's not really doing too much for you. It's all gossip, it's all funny stuff, it's all just nothing really too beneficial for the mind. But I don't know, maybe there is an algorithm on there that if you begin with watching finance or education, that it'll be on there. But then it's this whole cycle of people that are trying to make money, because that's really, everyone's just kind of trying to pay their rent, you know. And so if a video of someone showing funny videos is going to be getting more views than a video of them talking about like how to invest, then they're going to be putting out those other videos, because why would they waste their time on, you know, if you're a young kid in your 20s, it's hard to just see the long-term, the 10, 15 year long-term vision of talking about investments and stuff. That's why it's, you know, we praise these guys on YouTube, like, let's say like a Nate O'Brien, like even like a Graham or Meet Kevin, that they've been doing this for 5+ years when they're in their 20s talking about investments, and they're not only doing it for, you know, just like selling their soul, it seems like, what some people do, why they do these Mr. Beast type of content, you know, with the quick hitting dopamine stuff. But
yeah, exactly. And I would say you have to think of your content in different like pillars, right? So you have one content that might be quicker, you could call it more dumbed down, something that's a little more in depth, but you have to know that won't hit as well. So like me, for example, I just hit on Instagram.
No, right now?
No, I'm about to, but when they watch this video, I'll be at 100,000 followers on Instagram. I'm at 99,500.
Dude,
and
congratulations.
Thank you, buddy. I literally was a month and a half ago, and just God gets all the glory, I was at 17,000 followers. So now I'm at 90, almost 100,000. What I'll tell you about that, and I'm not just like flexing or anything, but I want you guys to see our journey.
Dude,
really.
100K on Instagram is insane. Like, that's so hard to get. You should definitely flex on that. I don't know too many people personally that have 100K on Instagram. You know, like a handful of them, but all from like social media of people that have met through it. But like, that's a huge number on Instagram. You know, Instagram is like your personal brand, and having 100K on there, that's big.
I'm excited, but and I'm excited to show, you know, you who's listening, just our journey with like that we're in it, and that we're not just like somebody sitting here on these microphones that don't know what we're doing. And by the way, like, there's so much we don't know, and we have so far to go. Like, you've never made it, but I just want you to know, who's listening, like, we're in this game and we're doing this, and I
hope you're listening to this podcast in 2025, and then they'll see where we're at. You know, I hope someone has gone back to all of our videos.
Oh my goodness,
and are listening in 2025. You know, that would be great.
That would be incredible. So what I've come to find out is I love like doing these quick clips with music, but I want to do these little longer ones where maybe I react and then I give some like real value and more substance, like give people the T-bone steak instead of like the cotton candy, but I'm finding what's growing me really well is the cotton candy. So I have to know, as a content creator, I'm going to do the cotton candy because I'm in this stage of growth and but at the same time, I'm going to put a few T-bone steaks out there, and I'm not going to be disappointed when they don't get the same amount of views. But at the same time, I'm building an audience who's there for my voice, my thoughts, my opinion, and there's more depth there with those people. Right, Darren? So you got to look at your content in different ways because you can't fight against it. If people want the cotton candy, give it to them, but you also could. But you're doing your own cotton candy. I'm not doing like satisfying videos. They're still all based on who I am, the gospel, telling people about Jesus.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it in my own way. Like, so you're not like selling out.
And we've talked about this before. Take advantage of the time now, the algorithm now. Things will change a lot in the next few weeks, months, years. Some of these platforms might not even be around. There might be new platforms. So always just gotta keep up with the times, listen to videos and podcasts like this one to always keep up with the times as well. But honestly, you just have me thinking about T-bone steaks right now. That sounds incredible.
Ooh, dude,
I need some steak and eggs.
Oh, that sounds good. Ooh, yes. Wow. What's that diner? There's a big diner in LA.
Oh, there's many. There's many, Tom.
There's I not like Mel's. I've been there.
Norms.
Is
that what you're thinking about?
I think it's
24-hour Norms. I can almost walk there from my place. It's It's a classic. That's like an old school. That's like one of those diners you'll see in a 1950s movies where people meet up for coffee. Those are the classic spots.
Yes, that is so classic. So I don't want to, if you don't know anything about LA, no worries. That went off on a tangent, but yeah. So just know where are you at with your content, and like a lot of creators, Darren, right? If you're in the finance space and if you're just sitting here and telling people about Excel sheets and or just taking one of Warren Buffett's book and just like reading pages, like you're not going to grow. You have to do it in a clever way.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, you can't only take what these old. Also, what like I've been trying to learn as well is you can't obviously it's good to learn from everyone, but don't only take the advice of like people that are 80, 70 right now that are multimillionaires, because they have done much different things in business and marketing than people that are in their 30s that have done, because times have changed. Times are changing so quick. So you just got to take in advice from everyone and then collectively form your own thoughts around what you think is the most effective way for you to go about your structure, your organization, and your specific business and niche in what you're trying to build. And make sure you have like a 10-year plan for that too in the back of your mind. Even though you might be doing something a little bit different every single day, like you still should have that vision of who you want to be in the future always in the back of your head to make sure that you are striving to be them in the next few years, and every day just getting 1% better as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to compromise yourself to make good content, to grow a big following. And like it's really real what Darren said about like some of the stuff that's going on Snap and these platforms where the creators aren't even using their own content, or they're just making really silly stuff because it's growing big and stuff at the moment, at the time, to like pay the bills and stuff. But like they'll never be probably one of the big content creators everyone knows about, or have their own brand or identity if you're just doing little silly videos. Now, if you love it and that's like you grew up on America's Funniest Home Videos and that's like you, then do it. But you got to stay true to yourself. And I'd account my growth to just being passionate about the message. And I believe God's obviously like growing it. I don't take any credit for it, but I'm real about that message I'm giving out. So I think if you're real about your message, like Darren said, you take all this advice that's coming at you different ways, and then you come about your unique way to like do it.
Exactly.
You gotta be real, right, Darren? You're real.
Yeah.
You're a real estate agent. You love real estate. Like you're in this. Like you'd be doing this with no cameras.
Right. And I mean, I've been big on YouTube. Like I've liked watching YouTube videos since I was young. 2006, I was making videos. So I always wanted to incorporate that.
Flex.
Yeah. I always wanted to incorporate that into, I wish I continued on with it after that, but I always wanted to do something relating to YouTube with my career in the future, whatever that may be. So whatever, and then, real estate, YouTube collide and coincide. But, what was I going to say? I was going to say, shoot, I forgot, but there was something else that I was trying to come up with here.
Yeah, I was just talking to you about saying like, it has to be like a message or something you're doing that, because you were talking about like looking at things more in the long term and having that.
Oh yeah. So I mean, when you're watching, a cool thing is when you're watching all these, let's say when you've been watching YouTubers or TikTokers for a while now, it's cool to see how they have pivoted in different directions as well when they're growing so fast. So like you'll see a couple people on TikTok that maybe 2-3 years ago, they were just doing the trendy dances and stuff. And then you think, is that what they're just going to be doing for the next 5+ years? But, they maybe were like, they loved music or they had a big passion and they had a good voice. And so now if you go back to their pages, some people that I saw from 3-4 years ago, now they've built a 10 million plus following. And now they have pretty big music careers because they have a solid brand now, and people don't even remember all those old dances that they used to do. Now they only see them as a musician, as an artist, maybe, so just like that, you got to figure out what works now to grow your brand, your audience, and then think about what you want to do long term with it, because there are just so many ways to build. Because if they only were doing music from the beginning and not just trying to trend hack or get big followings in certain ways, sometimes you got to sacrifice that and then figure it out. But yeah.
No, that's 1,000% on that. Sometimes you maybe happen to be good at some kind of content that hits, that people like, that you don't want to be doing forever. But you know what? Do it. Gain a few 100,000 subs on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. Then you could always pivot and go a new direction and introduce a new thing. Darren and I were saying this before we go on the podcast, before we got on. One of the greatest things about like building your following is that it's never going away. Like it only continues to grow every day. And so you're not stuck into being some kind of person. Like you could always, people change and evolve.
Which is why this is like way more fun than having a corporate job too, because you already know your salary. You already know what you're doing every day. You don't wake up in the morning and check your analytics or your statements, because unless you're like growing something specifically, which is what, every day it's going up and up. So it's going to be cool to see long term with the compound effect and, which is learning along the way.
1,000%.
So
1,000%.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much good for this episode. We've touched on a lot of what we wanted to talk about, a couple of big trending videos, TikTok algorithm being manipulated by some of these head guys. If you work for TikTok, reach out to us. Maybe we can work something out, but call Tom. We got our information. Our information's online somewhere.
We'll
we're
send
realtors.
you our Cash App or Venmo to put us up on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, grow a personal brand through business is what we talk about mainly week by week. So if you guys are content creators, subscribe for weekly videos. If you guys just like listening to what we have to say, also subscribe. Check out our other channels. Follow us on Instagram. Everything is going to be down in the description below, all of our information. So yeah, it's been a good week, guys.
It's been good. And by the way, if you are a content creator listening, Darren and I have been so busy just trying to grow our followings. So we do have guests in the future coming on, but right now our biggest thing has been just like, it's a season of growth right now with content. So if you are a creator listening and you've grown somewhat of a following and stuff and you're getting traction, reach out to us on Instagram or something. We would love to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you are a creator, if you know anything about the space, if you want to just talk, maybe get on our podcast, we will definitely have that conversation. And next week, shorts are being monetized on YouTube, so that is why we are just kind of going all in on all of this. So we'll see what happens. But until next time, guys, it's been fun.
Thanks for watching.